what we thought would have been a normal fire for us to put out has turned out to be one of the more complex fire situations we have had in a long time in this city. What we do now know is what is burning is insulation between the two buildings. We continue, as of right now, I just had an update in the command post. We continue to have smoke throughout both buildings, and we continue to have high levels of carbon monoxide in both buildings because of the incomplete combustion. This is going to be a prolonged event. The decision was made late last night after consultation with the incident commander and after multiple hours of us monitoring the air, thinking that we had this under control, to evacuate both buildings. I want to stress our primary focus is to never dehouse. That is only as a last-minute resort. But given the levels of carbon monoxide, given every time we thought we had it under control, it came back up, the decision was correctly made that we would evacuate both buildings. And then we worked collaboratively with Toronto Paramedic Services, the Toronto Police Service, and Toronto Emergency Management. So it really was a Team Toronto approach last night. Toronto Fire Service, unfortunately, cannot give you a time frame. What I will say is we will be here until the fire is out, and then we will be here no less than 24 hours after the fire is out before we let anyone back in the building to make sure that the fire is completely extinguished and that the levels of carbon monoxide are completely at zero. It has been a very long night for our crews. We have rotated over 77 fire trucks throughout the night through this fire, and we will continue to do so. Before I turn it over to Mayor Chow, I want to extend my deepest thanks, as I said, to the Toronto Paramedic Services, to Toronto Police Service and Toronto Emergency Management, along with Councillor Chernos-Lynn and along with the Mayor and her office for their unwavering support during a very difficult evening last night. I will now turn it over to Mayor Chow and be happy to answer questions after. Mayor?
Yep. Thank you, Chief, and thank you to all the emergency responders for working overnight. Good morning, everyone. Our priority is the safety and security of the residents of Thorncliffe Park, and Team Toronto is working hard around the clock so everyone is supported and our community is protected. My hearts go out to all the residents that had to leave their homes last night. We're here for you. You are not alone. I know how stressful and frightening it would be losing access to your home, worrying about your safety, wondering when you will be able to return. I know it is difficult. We are working closely with Red Cross and all our partners so all buildings are safe so you can return as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience and your resilience as we work through this challenging situation together. Toronto Emergency Management responded to the fire, and of course the fire chief came on scene. Immediately, they arranged for TTC bus to transfer residents from the hub to a hotel, and they've been in contact with both property management companies so tenants receive timely updates. And both companies will broadcast information through their app, and also the residents that needs extra information can contact the building securities. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, our team will continue to work with Red Cross, providing services, conducting checks, and arranging medical support if needed. And Toronto paramedics remain on site. The rapid response reflects the hard work and coordination of Team Toronto, of all the first responders. Chief Jessup and the Toronto Fire Service crew have been on site since yesterday afternoon and over the evening. They are managing a very challenging fire, monitoring the smoke, etc. I just want to say that the Chief's team, the courage, the skills, and the dedication inspired us all. We are grateful for the work you do every day to protect our city. I also want to recognize everyone who stepped up to help. You heard about them. Toronto Hydro crew, emergency team, TDC staff, Canadian Red Cross, city staff, our communication team. Your efforts send a very clear message. Team Toronto is committed to the safety and security of the residents of Toronto. Let me turn the time now to the local councillor, Rachel Chenis-Lynn.
Thank you, Mayor. So to begin, I'd like to thank Chief Jessup, all the firefighters, all the first responders who have been working through the night and will be on site until the fire is completely out and beyond, for supporting the safe and orderly evacuation of residents from the 2 impacted buildings. In the cold weather, and it is cold, they ensured that every resident who needed one had a warm place to stay. Thank you. The most important thing is that everyone is safe, and that will remain our top priority in the days to come. I recognize that this is, of course, a significant disruption for the people living in these buildings and also for the surrounding community. My goal is to ensure that everyone is supported during this time. I'll be working closely with Toronto Fire, Toronto Emergency Management, and senior city staff going forward. My office stands ready to do whatever it takes to help those who are impacted. In times like this, it is so important that we work together as a community. And this is a very special community filled with so many families and seniors. I've already received messages from so many people wanting to help, from school principals to local neighbors. From my time and my many years representing Thorncliffe Park, I know that this is a neighborhood that truly cares about each other and that comes together when it counts. And this is a time to do just that. Thank you for your patience, your cooperation, and your willingness to do everything to support all who are affected. Thank you.
Joy?
Good morning, everyone. Toronto Emergency Management was engaged by Toronto Fire last evening, and as soon as we are engaged and advised that there was going to be people displaced, we notified Canadian Red Cross to assist us. We work very closely as partners. Canadian Red Cross became engaged immediately. They attended the scene, and we worked together in obtaining accommodation for the residents that have been displaced. We had approximately 70 hotel rooms that we've organized with approximately 114 people to date. If anyone else comes forward, we do have room to accommodate them as well, and I will give you the Red Cross number at the end of this in order to do so. Again, we're working very closely with Toronto Fire, and we will be continuing to wraparound services for the individuals that have been displaced from their units. So the number that I would suggest to call if anyone's looking for support, it's through the Red Cross, and for any updated information, it's 1-800-850-5090, 1-800-850-5090. Thank you.
So you said 70 hotel rooms and 114 people used the hotel, is that correct?
70 hotel rooms were rented, and 114 people are within those hotel rooms. Some are, 2, 3, that type of thing. Okay.
Any questions?
Questions?
Chief, you mentioned how complex this situation is. Can you speak to the challenges with the fire and where it is? Is the challenge the material, the insulation, or the location where it is?
No, a great question. So the challenge right now is the location. We have been on site, as I said, approaching almost 24 hours at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And what we have discovered is the insulation is between the buildings and between the walls. So this has to be a very meticulous and methodical and systematic approach. The firefighters can't just start cutting into walls and roofs of high-rise buildings given gas lines, given hydro and power lines. So we have been making very calculated cuts. We've been applying foam, we've been applying water, and again, at the same time, we work very closely with hydro, because what we don't want is the unintended impact of damaging the hydro bus or the hydro rooms and making this worse. So the reason for the key challenge is it is extremely difficult to locate the seat of the fire. And what is happening now, and has been happening all night, is the fire is just spreading behind the walls throughout the buildings because of the insulation.
Okay, getting a really clear answer there from Fire Chief Jim Jessup about the situation of this buildings in Thorncliffe Park, where they're dealing with one of the most complicated fires they have in recent history.